All right, so we just got a new camper, and one of the things we love about the rescue wagon is we've got that shelf that flips up, and it's got stainless steel brackets. You can hit them and it goes back down. Super, super convenient. So we definitely want to do one on the outside of that as well. So what I've got is a 3/4 inch piece of plywood. We're going to cut it to 12 inches. It's going to be 12 by 48. We're going to mount it to the side of the camper. So the first thing I'm going to do, just come in, put a mark at 12 inches, set up my square, make my line. Cut my piece. I'm going to give this a quick sand around the edges, just to, in case my cut wasn't perfect, or if there's little flickery things staying around the edge here, I'm going to get that sanded off. I'm not going to sand the front edges. We're actually going to cover it in Flex Seal, so I'm leaving it a little bit grainy so that the Flex Seal soaks in. All right, so we're going to use the Flex Seal. We're going to try it with a roller here, see if we can get it going with a roller. This is kind of like a sponge roller. Yeah, that's going to work pretty good right there. So what we're going to do is just kind of cover one side and then actually get I'm going to kind of do around the edges while I'm doing it too, because I want to be able to get the ends. All right, we're going to put this shelf on this camper so that it will actually fold up and down. And we did this with our rescue wagon. The rescue wagon is our 5x8 cargo trailer, and I'll show you how that shelf works real quick so you get an idea of what we're going to do here. So actually, yeah, we're renaming this the Axe Wagon because we named it the rescue wagon during COVID because it was rescuing us from insanity and getting us out there. But everybody thinks we're like rescuing dogs or rescuing people or stuff, so we decided we're going to change it to the Extreme Wagon because it's going to be hard for me to remember that it's the Extreme Wagon now, not the rescue wagon. But these shelves are really cool. Really comes in very handy making coffee out here, that type of stuff. So basically, one of the things we love about this, so we want to do it with the new camper. This has deck over on it from Home Depot. The new one that we're going to do actually has Flex Seal, so it's actually rubberized, kind of like the Flex Seal, a little better. We'll see which one holds up better over time. This is actually treated wood with the deck over on it. It's held up real well, but we'll see which one we like better down the road. These are the brackets we're going to use. They're stainless steel. They go down, they come up, they lock into place. You got a lever to bring them down. We'll put a link in the description below. One of the things about here though is finding your studs. So you can't use a stud finder on the outside metal part. We did go on the inside and we realized that there's a stud that starts right where this window is and goes over, so we really want to line that first bracket up here. There's another one over here, but our board's only 48 inches and that's 48 inches, so it would be like on the very ends and we may or may not get that stud. So there's another one in about 12.5 inches, so we're going to put one bracket here and one bracket here, and then the shelf's going to be basically even with this window, and then I've got some bracing to go underneath to keep the board from warping down the road. So the first thing we're going to do now is we're going to want to mount this. The way this mounts is the long part's under the actual board, and the shorter part will mount on the wall where you want it. So we determined what height we want, and we're going to line this up. We're going to use a level to come down straight so that we know that we're following the straight line and where that stud is going to be. Then I'm also going to put butyl tape on the back, and if you look at this camper, it's kind of ridged. So first piece, I'm going to put a piece of butyl tape across the entire piece. Then what I'm going to do is fill in a couple of extra pieces in where the gaps are, just so it kind of fills that in. This is where it gets a little bit crazy. So I've got my spots marked on here, so now I'm going to use a very tiny drill bit and go through and hope I hit a stud. Hit nothing. What the heck is the friggin' stud? So I have to move over to hit the stud. I can feel it, but it's not in the right spot. So I'm gonna have to put a small screw in that hole with some butyl tape to cover it, which really sucks because I thought I had the measurements right from the inside. Alright, so I'm going to get that top one started, and I'm going to line up my next one. Get that one started. I know this is a ridiculous extension, but I wanted it for the top one not to have to go in on an angle. Alright, so I want those snugged up, but I don't want them so tight that they stick out. So, alright, so right here what we did is we just put a little butyl tape in that tiny hole and then moved one of the stickers so it looks right. Alright, so the other bracket goes on the exact same way. It's got two brackets. We found the stud. Pretty sure we got it right this time, so we're going to go ahead and drill into that. So now that we've got stud, I'm going to do this one the exact same way. So now I'm going to secure the top to the brackets using 1/2-inch screws. I got the first one in, and then I want to make sure that the other one's about the same distance out on the end. And I cut these with my skill saw, so they're not going to be like exactly perfect. There's going to be a little bit of variation in it, but it's pretty good. Alright, so the cool thing is when you're out camping, you come out, you just grab this bad boy, stick it up. You can cook, you can do all kinds of things. Got an outlet down here, you can do your coffee maker. It works out real good. Kind of wish the outlet was right here, but it's not, so we just have to go with what we have. So because this is plywood, I'm going to reinforce it with this aluminum channel. So what I'm going to do is in between here, I'm going to cut this to basically do one back here and one up here, and then possibly even a couple little pieces right there, or even possibly, depending on how much I have left after I cut, maybe a long one under there. Because it is plywood, even though it's covered in the rubber coating, it still could warp. So I definitely don't want it warping, so I'm going to try and give it a little additional support, and I'll use 1/2-inch screws with this as well. So basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to take a measurement here, and I'm going to cut two of them like that. I'm just going to take a drill bit and drill every few inches so that I can screw it up in. So I'm going to use my handy dandy jigsaw with the metal blade to cut this off. I'm going to attempt to do both of them at the same time because I'm lazy. So what I'm going to do is just use a marker to just kind of mark it about where I want it. So one thing you want to do is make sure these are short enough for this to close, because even though I have a gap there, not quite enough. I need to take basically a hair off each side. Alright, now it's got the bracing in there correctly. So we're going to put on these little pieces on the end, just to give it a little additional, keep it warping on the ends. I'll put some drill holes through it with my drill press. With these end braces, the way they stick out, they got a little sharp edge. See how that's rounded? And coming from a guy who cuts his head at least once a week, little kids or something that were walking under there, I'm going to take the grinder and just kind of round off those edges so it won't scalp anybody. Alright, so excited to have our shelf on. Super easy, goes down nice up against the side. If you haven't had a shelf before, we didn't really know how much we would use it, but on the Extreme wagon we use it all the time. So super excited to have that. Remember, doing things yourself allows you to save money, but it also allows you to customize things the way you want them. so that they actually work for you. And ultimately that allows you to be free. See you in the next project.